this restorative routine is going to focus on thoracic mobility, which requires us to be able to expand and open up between those shoulder blades and that posterior mediastinum and be able to rotate our thoracic spine. So when you feel like you're really tight, maybe in your neck and shoulders, or you're really locked up in your upper back, even if you have more of a bended posture, you can still be really tight. The people who are bent over or like nursing, carrying babies, like working here, tend to be the tightest, right, in that way upper back at the base of their neck and that thoracic spine. So this routine is gonna target that thoracic mobility to get you breathing better and to get you rotating better and just overall get those abs on board. We are gonna start with 45-second intervals. So we're just gonna do 45 seconds. There's 6 exercises. We're gonna do 2 rounds. Get on all fours. And we are gonna just start in that all fours position. This is such a great position to open up that upper back. So think long neck, shoulder blade down towards your hips. You're gonna roll that spine a little bit, so tuck your tailbone, no clenching your glutes. Push that chest up with the weight over your hands. So you don't wanna be back here. Really get over your hands. Keep that chest pushed towards the ceiling. And just try to target that inhale right in that upper back. Closing those ribs to feel abs. You don't want a lot of chest muscle on. You should feel serratus anterior. Pushing that rib cage back. All right, you're gonna go into the dorsal thoracic hang, which is the postural restoration exercise. So booty to the wall. You're gonna go straight up. You can put a ball between your knees. Those ankles are flexed. You're gonna roll that pelvis back, kind of grip down with your heels, or think about your knees going up and your pelvis rolling back, ribs closing down towards your pelvis and back towards your spine, and you're just gonna reach, okay? So again, shoulder blades are reaching off the ground, long neck. You can even look back and jet that chin out for an extra neck stretch. This feels really good. All right, back in all fours. So you can, let's start here. We're just gonna alternate lifting a hand. So this is the modified all 4 belly lift. So again, get in that starting position that we just worked at. Long neck, push that chest up, roll that spine. You're gonna lift a hand. Inhale, exhale, switch. Really keep that rib cage pushed up. When you're on a single hand, you should feel a lot of obliques. Your ribs are closed. Your chest is hollowed out. So you're inhaling, pausing, exhaling, switch. All right, now we're gonna do sidelying rotation. So put your feet, if you can, feet on the wall. They don't necessarily have to be, but it can help. You're gonna stack your knees and hips, hands straight out, and you're just gonna open up. So you can either stay here, keeping those ribs closed. Your shoulders should be right above your hips and not like leaning back, okay? So you're stacked. You can just breathe here and open that chest and side body, or you can rotate, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. All right, we're gonna do the other side the next round. Then you're going to go into all fours rotation. So in that starting position, spread that weight through your fingers, roll back, chest up. You're gonna touch your ear, so you're not cranking on your neck. You're gonna go down, and you can either hold it here for a nice chest opener and side body stretch, or you can inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. So you're inhaling and pausing at end range, exhaling through the movement. Or just hold it. All right, so now we're gonna do on the wall. You're gonna have your feet together. You can put a ball between your knees if you need to. That can help open your pelvis a little bit, that outlet. You're rolling that pelvis back, ribs down, bra line to belt line, or between the shoulder blades. It should be on the wall. You should feel all those vertebrae. So when you do this, you should feel a lot of low abs, weight through your heels. You're just reaching, okay? Open between those shoulder blades at the base of that neck, way upper back. Exhale, chest goes back towards the wall, ribs close, you're feeling some abs, long neck. All right, so we're gonna go back to the first exercise, that retraction. So you're here. If you wanna make it harder, go into kind of like a rounded down dog, knees bent, your shoulders are right above your hands, your ribs are closed, you're pushing that rib cage away from the floor. Lots of abs here. That neck is in line, it's not drooping down, you're looking straight down at the floor. You can jet those heels back for a calf stretch. Otherwise, you're just staying in that all four position, all fours, pushing that chest up towards the sky. All right, you should feel a lot of abs with that. So those ribs are closed and those abs are on. All right, you're going back, feet up on the wall. One of my all-time favorites. Okay, so you're rolling back, close those ribs. We're gonna alternate this reach. You can also add some weights to this. So inhale with the reach into that upper back. Exhale, switch. You should feel hammies. Exhale, switch. That low back is flexed and relaxed, stretching. Inhale, exhale, switch. Your arms are like on a railroad track, so you're just reaching straight up. Okay? Should feel pretty good in that upper back, thoracic spine. So now you can either keep going with that belly lift, inhaling, exhaling, switch, or you can come into a little bit harder where your knees are off the ground. You can hover them. I would start here, making sure your shoulders are above your hands, and you're just trying to unweight. You're gonna have to shift a little bit, but you're trying to minimize that shift. Inhale. This one you might have to exhale with the movement because you need more abs. Inhale, exhale, lift. You should not get any bulging or coning. Everything is compressing, okay? Sidelying rotation, you're gonna do the other side. So I'm gonna go this way this time. I like my feet on the wall to feel more secure. You are stacked in your knees and pelvis. You're trying to get that shoulder open as far as you can, okay? So this is your goal right here, keeping those knees stacked and seeing if you can get that hand, shoulder on the ground. So you can just pause here. Make sure your shoulder is right above your hips and you're not like this, okay? Or you can inhale, exhale, inhale at those end ranges, exhale with the movement, okay? All right, let's do all fours. So we're gonna do the rotation on the other side. So this is left side. You're here really pushing away from the ground. You can stay here and just do your inhales, or inhale on the pause, exhale through the movement. You want to keep that chest pushed up and ribs closed so that you're rounded. You don't want to try to rotate with that back extended or straight. So try to get rounded as you rotate. So you can get back on the wall. Okay, you're rolling that pelvis back, weight is through your heels, but your big toes are down too. You're gonna reach out. All those vertebrae, bra line to belt line on the wall, feeling a lot of low abs. We're gonna alternate. So you're reaching straight forward on the inhale, exhale, just feeling that spine rotate, feeling those ribs anchored with some abs. You should inhale into that reaching arm, the upper back on the same side, and then exhale here. If you're really tight in your low back, really try to get those vertebrae on the wall, you'll feel more abs, okay? So those low abs are key to help balance out your low back muscles. So that was a good little warm-up, rotation, reaching, getting that serratus anterior on, feeling those abs, anchor our ribs down. Now we're gonna do some more strengthening. So I love crawling. It's a great full body exercise, especially for abs. And then we're gonna do some pallof press. So you're gonna need a band. You can actually use like a belt or a rope, something that doesn't stretch, just to like pull into. It doesn't have to be a resistance band, but we are going to crawl, do 5 to 10. You can change your reps between 5 to 10 on each set, and we are going to do 4 sets of this, okay? So this is not timed. We are going to be here. We're gonna crawl forwards and backwards. So the level 1, or the thing to master first, would be knees on the ground. So you're gonna inhale, try to get that even flexion in your back. Exhale, knee goes to hand. You're side scrunching on that side so you feel those abs. And then you alternate. Get all that air out, okay? When you get to the end of your mat, you're gonna go backwards. So then you're moving still opposite hand, knee. Good exhales, ribs closed. You're pushing that chest away from the floor to really work your shoulders. But you don't want to hang through those shoulder joints. All right, so you're going forward, back on the length of your mat. Then you're gonna take a resistance band. So I'm gonna start with my closest leg to the band bent. I want my weight through that front heel. My hip is over my knee, so I don't want to be in this kind of lunge position because that is cranking my low back and stretching my abs. We want to be stacked. Once your hip is over your knee, so shoulder, hip, knee, you're rotating that pelvis back, feeling those abs, feeling a stretch in that thigh, okay? Then you're going to kind of tighten up on the band wherever you feel you can control, and you're just gonna go in and out in a straight line, keeping those abs on. You should feel some obliques kind of pulling in or away from the door or wherever you have the band anchored. So inhale into that upper back. Okay, so you're gonna do 5 to 10 of those. Make sure your pelvis is level and you're not like dropping or hiking that hip on the bent leg. 5 to 10, okay, trying to open that upper back, keeping that back straight, ribs closed. And then you're gonna crawl again. So if you wanna take it up a notch, you can hover your knees. So you're here. Now, if you want to increase the pace for a little bit more cardio, you don't have to synchronize it with your breathing, okay? Keep those knees low if you can. If you can't yet, you can go up a little bit because it puts more demand on your shoulders instead of your core, but the goal is to get your knees as low as you can. All right, now I'm going to switch legs. So now my leg away from where the band is anchored is bent. Weight through the heel, stacking my egg, closing my ribs. I'm gonna inhale. Long neck. Don't let that neck help you, okay? So if I wanted to just increase, I'm not gonna synchronize my breathing. I'm just gonna focus on good exhales, but you know, you can just go a little bit faster or increase the resistance by shortening up the resistance band. All right, and crawl again. You should feel a lot of abs in that crawl. If you're feeling quads, you need to roll that pelvis more, okay? You don't want quads really working for you there. It's all coming from your core. All right, so now again, I'm gonna put the closest foot towards the band up, but I'm gonna switch directions. Okay, so we're cinching up on that band, trying to stack the shoulders over the pelvis. Make sure I feel a stretch in that hip flexor and quad. Long neck. You should feel obliques. And a good stretch in that quad. So this is great to help those hip flexors learn to relax. Your abs help turn off hip flexors. So the more abs you can find to roll that pelvis and get those ribs in to make that connection, the more that hip flexor is going to stretch. So cool trick, right? All right, I'm going to do one more crawl. So really round your spine. Don't be afraid of that flexion right here. Okay, and then I'm going to switch legs. Pelvis is even, ribs and pelvis are anchored. You can play with like shifting that knee back if you need some more inner thigh. I usually do that more on my left leg. Make sure you feel that quad and hip flexor stretch. I'm gonna admit I'm not really counting, but you can either time these if you're bad at counting like I am, just 15 seconds, 20, whatever, or do 5 to 10 reps. Next pair of exercises is a scooting motion and then a resisted dead bug with your arms. So you're gonna again sit at the edge of your mat. You're gonna find those sit bones, so play with your pelvic position, finding those sit bones. You're going to lean to one side, get those abs on, and then bring that other leg forward. Okay, so when that right leg goes forward, you should feel left inner thigh. You're reaching, then you go to the right side, switch, bring that left leg up. This is a lot of core because your core has to hike your pelvis up. It's a lot of pelvic movement, which is great. That's obliques, okay? So inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale, move. So you're gonna go till your feet go to the edge of the mat. You can make this as fast or as slow as you want. You should not feel the tension in your low back. You should be using your core, okay? Then you go backwards. So the leg that is back, you should feel that inner thigh. You're working that thoracic rotation, working those obliques. It's harder than it looks. For the resisted dead bug, you're gonna anchor the band above your head. Again, you don't need weights to this. You can also substitute with just weights and pushing the weights up towards the sky. That will also help strengthen. So I'm gonna time this for 20 seconds. So you're here. You're going to bring yourself in a position where you have to kind of pull in a little bit. So you're resisting those bands, shoulder blades up. You can start here, okay, and work on that pelvic stability. Transverse abs, you're not wiggling your pelvis, your ribs are closed. Next level would be here, tapping down. Again, you're feeling that spine, that whole back, constant pressure on the ground, okay? Or you can lengthen your leg. Keep those shoulder blades reaching towards the sky. You're trying to compress your abdomen, it's not bulging forward. All right, back to that pelvic scoot. So this is a postural restoration exercise, long seated cross reach. You're gonna go here, try to feel those low, deep abs so that your back isn't doing it. Toes are pointed straight up, okay? And it's your pelvis doing the motion, not your knees trying to dig down and move yourself, okay? So you don't want that knee or that foot trying to push you back. You're lengthening that leg and that pelvis pulls that hip back in the socket. That's what's gonna get your abs, okay? So 20 seconds on the resisted dead bug. Pick your level. Make sure you're doing it correctly before you advance on to the next level, okay? So again, you can start here, Do just a march. You can do 90 degrees with a tap, keeping your legs or full. Okay? All right. If you get any hip popping with that laying on the ground and extending your leg out, you need more abs on that side, okay? So you can also experiment with turning your toe in a little bit or out, but that pelvis, the tendon of your hip flexor is kind of flipping over the bone, so you need those abs to really roll that pelvis back. You can even side scrunch. So I get some hip popping in my left side if I'm on a whack. So think side scrunch, ribs in, feeling a lot of abs on whatever side you're hip popping, okay? All right, we have 2 more rounds. This is our 3rd round. Okay, we're gonna do 4 rounds. You should be feeling some abs. Keep those legs close together. Toes straight up. Good. All right, so this is a 3rd round. 20 seconds. Really reach those shoulder blades off the ground. Keep that constant pressure on your spine, okay? You'll feel your abs really engaged there. All right, 1 more. Scoot. Toes straight up, ankles bent. Relax that low back, okay? Whoops, I'm getting out of sync here. It's easy to do. So when the right foot is forward, the left hand is reaching, okay? So whatever foot is forward, the opposite hand is reaching towards it. All right, we're gonna do 1 more resisted dead bug. 20 seconds. Think about that pressure on your spine, making sure it's constant, okay? Reach those shoulder blades up. Especially that low spine. That will get more your low, deep abs that control that pelvis. Good. Alrighty. The next set of exercises is the side crawl and a resisted scissor arm. You can either use a band for the scissor arms or weights, whatever you have available. You're gonna start on the side of your mat, okay? Let's start with our knees down, knees together, arms apart. You're gonna push that chest up, and you're going right leg, left arm. So you're moving opposite hand, leg. Okay, so pubic bone to belly button, those ribs are closed. You should feel some abs, and then you're gonna go back. Okay, so we're gonna do 20 seconds of scissor arms. You can either have your feet up here if you need more hamstring, which I think I'm gonna do, or you can have your feet down. Ball between the knees is always a nice option. Don't clench your glutes, okay? So if you're down here, make sure you're rolling back without clenching those glutes. 20 seconds, you're in here. I'm gonna dig those heels down. Exhale, slap in the face. Inhale, back. Exhale, pull. Inhale, back. Keep those shoulder blades reaching. If you want to take it up a notch with the crawl, just hover those knees, okay? So you're trying to get them just hovering over the ground. Keep your weight over your hands. So your shoulders even might be a little bit forward compared to your hands, and that's okay. Keep those abs on, all right? So I'll do the other variation of this, 20 seconds. I'm in hook lying. Weight through heels, roll back, exhale, pull, inhale, back to starting, exhale, inhale, all right? Make sure the shoulder blades are reaching, thumbs are pointed towards your head. Okay. Doing the side crawl. This is round 3. We're doing 4 rounds. Make sure if you're hovering your knees that you have that control. Knees on the ground is perfectly fine and it's a great way to strengthen. So if you're not ready for hovering the knees, which is pretty advanced, no worries. Stay on your knees and just focus on controlling that core. All right, 20 seconds, round 3. So if you had weights, show you the weight option. You're here. Exhale, inhale. So you're not popping those ribs. Constant pressure on the spine. You don't want to let those ribs pop when you open those arms, okay? So we're practicing lengthening or going into that shoulder flexion without letting our abs shut off, okay? Controlling those ribs and pelvis. So one more time. Make sure you're keeping that chest pushed away from the ground. Abs on, ribs closed, back rounded. All right, last scissor arms, 20 seconds. I will use the weights again. You can have your feet up or down. Feel those hamstrings, roll that pelvis, reach, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale. Trying to keep those ribs closed as you bring that weight over your head. You should feel constant pressure of your spine on the ground. We're gonna end with some modified planks. So we're gonna use the side lying hip lift postural restoration exercise to progress into a side plank, but really encourage those abs to work instead of our back. And then we will be in all fours and then the other side, and you can go into a modified plank or a full plank if you want. 20 seconds, twice through, so that's 2 minutes, okay? So we're gonna be here, shoulder above your elbow, you're rounding your whole back, really tucking those ribs in, and your pelvis should be kind of pointing down at a 45-degree angle. So you can be here, or you can raise an arm up if you want. We're really trying to get those abs. And then go into all fours if you want. Or you can go into, you know, like a modified plank or a full plank. You can even, which I think is a little harder, go into that rounded down dog. Really get some abs on. So lots of options there, and then you're gonna go the other side. So elbow below the shoulder, your hips are bent, you're rounding that back, and you're pointing down, okay? So you're at an angle, you should really feel obliques on the bottom side. And you can put that arm up if you want. All right, we're gonna go back to the other side, okay? Let's stay in this rounded position. Really think about rounding that low back so you feel that decompression. Those abs are on, ribs are closed. You can do this. You should feel a lot of shoulder here too. Okay, go into your version of whatever kind of all fours plank you want. I'm gonna do that knees bent, rounded, ribs closed. Gets a lot of abs. Make sure you're breathing and you're not clenching your butt. Okay, and then you're going back to that other side. Your back is rounded, okay? You're not clenching to do that rounding, right? You're using glutes and hamstrings and abs to tuck your pelvis, not squeezing your glutes. All right, so those are some options for progressing back into a plank and a side plank. You should be feeling a lot of abs after all that. You got some resistance in, you're progressing, you know, with weights and bands, hovering your knees, just seeing where your body's at and mastering level 1 before you progress to the next variations.